The Legend of Jigong, Chapter 88.
It's quite a text.
And let me tell you, this source material is just a complete genre mashup.
It truly defies modern categorization, and I mean that in the best way possible. It operates on so many different literary levels simultaneously.
It really does.
Like if you try to put it in a single box, it just breaks out of it a page later.
Because 1 minute you are reading this gritty, hyper-choreographed martial arts action sequence, and the next, it's a supernatural thriller with divine monks.
Right.
And then suddenly it pivots into this deep, surreal, psychological character study of a man basically losing his mind.
Which is fascinating.
So our mission today is to pull this apart. We want to understand the mechanics of this story and to look at what it says about guilt, karma, and the human mind. And our focal point for all of this is a guy named Yunlong. He is a notorious bandit, a villain, a predator, and right now he is currently on the run.
Very much on the run.
So, okay, let's unpack this.
Okay.
Because the scene we are jumping into starts with what might literally be the most darkly comedic, catastrophic oops moment in literary history.
It really is an incredibly striking cold open.
Yeah.
We enter the narrative mid-stride with our primary antagonist, Yunlong. He is creeping up behind a monk in the dark.
Right in the middle of a dark temple.
Exactly. And he draws a blade, and without any hesitation, he drives it right into the monk's back.
Just brutal.
It's a fatal, decisive, completely cowardly strike.
Right.
But the dramatic irony hits a split second after the blade lands.
Because he rolls the bleeding body over to see who he just killed.
Uh-huh.
And it's not just some random monk standing in his way. It is a man named Zheng Tianfu,
Yes.
also known in the underworld as the Cloud and the Cloud's Ghost, which is a great name, by the way. And he happens to be one of the feared 5 ghosts of Sichuan.
A major player.
But more importantly, for Hua Yunlong, this guy is his sworn brother.
Yep.
Hua has literally just backstabbed his closest underworld ally by complete accident. It genuinely feels like a scene from a Coen Brothers movie or a dark heist film, you know?
Oh, it really does.
Like when the bank robbers are escaping in the pitch black and they fire blindly into the alley to stop their pursuers.
Right.
And then they turn the flashlights on only to realize they just blew away their own getaway driver.
That is a highly accurate modern parallel, actually. And the text lingers heavily on Hua's reaction to this.
It does.
It explicitly says he just stands there stunned for a long time. He is experiencing profound cognitive dissonance.
I bet.
Because to understand the gravity of this, you really have to understand the concept of sworn brotherhood, or jiabai, in traditional Chinese outlaw culture.
Like, it's not just being friends.
Exactly. This isn't just a friend or casual business partner. Taking an oath of brotherhood usually involves burning incense, drinking wine mixed with each other's blood, and swearing before the gods, usually Guan Yu, the deity of loyalty and martial prowess. You swear that you will live and die together.
That is a serious commitment.
It is.
Oh.
So betraying a sworn brother is considered the ultimate transgression. It is a sin that basically marks you as less than human in the eyes of the martial underworld.
So even though it was a total accident, he has just committed the cardinal sin of his own society.
Yes.
But what really strikes me about this moment isn't just Hua's shock, it's how incredibly unceremoniously the story treats Zheng Tianfu's death.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Zheng is a major villain, right? I mean, he's one of the 5 ghosts.
He's a big deal.
Yeah. In a modern superhero movie or a Western action flick, a guy with a title like that gets a glorious, extended final standoff.
Right, the epic boss fight.
Exactly. He gets a 10-minute monologue about his evil plan. He gets the slow-motion rain falling around him while dramatic orchestral music plays as he finally goes down fighting.
But not here. Zheng Tianfu dies in just a confused blur. The text explicitly notes that he dies muddled or confused. He never even sees his killer.
Just lights out.
Precisely. And if we connect this to the bigger picture of the universe this story takes place in, it tells us something vital about the cosmology of the novel.
Okay, what's that?
Villains simply do not get the dignity of a meaningful death. They are unceremoniously wiped off the board.
Huh.
And sometimes the universe's method of taking them out is simply the incompetence, the bad luck, or the blind violence of their own allies.
It's almost dismissive. It's like the universe is saying, you don't even rate a real hero to take you down. Your buddy is just going to do it by mistake in the dark because you're both up to no good.
It's very humiliating in a cosmic sense.
But narratively, this accidental murder is the catalyst for everything that follows. Because Zheng wasn't alone in that temple.
No, he was not.
By killing Zheng, Hua accidentally saves Zheng's victim. And this leads us to something that I found completely jarring when reading the sources.
Oh, the narrator shift.
Yes. Right after this accidental killing, the narrator just stops the story, hits the pause button, turns around, and talks directly to us, the reader.
Yes, breaking the fourth wall to deliver a very explicit moral thesis.
It was wild.
The narrator steps in to say, essentially, do not shed a single tear for Zheng Tianfu. He was evil, he never did a good deed in his life, and he deserved exactly what he got.
Just spelling it right out.
Right. The text lays out the cosmic rules of the story right then and there. It says loyalists, righteous people, and virtuous women will eventually find safety and good fortune.
Okay.
But corrupt officials, tyrants, and lustful thieves, they will face ultimate, inescapable retribution.
See, I have to push back on this a little bit.
Okay, sure.
Because as a modern reader, when I'm watching a movie or reading a thriller, if the director or the author just stops the action in the first act to say, hey, just so you know, the bad guys will definitely be punished and the good guys will win.
It feels like a spoiler.
Exactly. I feel like it ruins the suspense. It kills the tension. We are so obsessed with spoilers, and not knowing who makes it out alive doesn't heavily explaining the moral of the story up front just deflate the whole thing.
I completely understand that modern perspective. I really do. We are deeply conditioned to value plot twists and subversion.
Yeah, we want to be surprised.
But what's fascinating here is that you have to view this through the lens of classic Chinese literature.
Okay.
This literature is deeply rooted in oral storytelling traditions, specifically Pinghua, or plain speech storytelling.
Pinghua. Got it.
So the storyteller, in a bustling tea house, they weren't just an entertainer trying to shock you with a twist ending. They were acting as a moral compass for the community.
Oh, I see.
The text itself actually explains why it's breaking the fourth wall. It explicitly states that this moral framing is designed to satisfy the human heart's desire for fairness.
The idea that villains should be punished by everyone. The text says something like, let everyone who sees them execute them. It's a very primal desire.
Precisely. It is acknowledging a fundamental psychological need in the audience. Because real life is chaotic, right?
Yeah.
It's unpredictable and often deeply unfair.
Totally.
Villains get away with terrible things. The innocent suffer. So literature in this context acts as a corrective lens.
That makes a lot of sense.
The narrator isn't ruining the suspense at all. They are providing a psychological safety net.
A safety net.
Yeah, they're saying to you, the reader, look, we're about to deal with some very dark subjects, some true depravity, and some deeply frightening villains.
Which they definitely do.
Right. But the narrator says, do not despair. I promise you, the scales of cosmic justice are balanced in this universe.
Okay, I see what you mean now. It's a comfort mechanism.
Exactly.
It's the author saying, hold my hand, reader. It's going to get really dark, but I promise the sun comes up at the end.
That's a great way to put it.
It frees you from the anxiety of the outcome so you can focus on the mechanics of the downfall. You're not stressed about if the villain gets caught. You're enjoying the ride of how they get caught.
Exactly. It shifts the tension entirely from outcome to process. And honestly, that comfort is entirely necessary for the audience.
Because of what happens next.
Yes, because having established those cosmic rules that evil will invariably be punished, the narrative immediately drops us back into the action to show us just how unfathomably evil Yunlong truly is.
We really need that safety net to stomach it.
We do.
Because, man, they do not waste a second getting dark. So let's look at the victim in the temple, Mrs. Li.
Right, the woman who was just saved.
She was riding a donkey with her brother Lucy. They were ambushed by the monk Zheng Tianfu.
The guy who just got stabbed.
Exactly. Zhang ties the brother up in the West Room and is actively attempting to assault Mrs. Li when Yunlong accidentally stabs him in the dark.
A terrible situation.
So Mrs. Li, completely understandably, is weeping with relief and gratitude. She thinks Hua is a righteous hero sent by the heavens.
Of course she does.
She's thanking him, telling him her family will remember his kindness forever, that he saved her life and her honor. And Hua's response, I mean, it gave me chills.
It is a masterclass in sociopathy.
It really is.
It is the realization of the nightmare you described at the very beginning of our discussion.
Because he smiles. He literally gives her a little smile.
Just chilling?
And he calmly explains, hey, little lady, funny story, I didn't mean to save you. That dead guy on the floor, that was actually my sworn brother. I killed him by mistake.
He just lays it all out.
And then, without missing a single beat, he pitches her a new plan. He says, since he's already dead, why don't we just kill your brother too, and then you and I can live right here in this temple as husband and wife.
It is a staggering psychological pivot.
I couldn't believe it.
The speed at which he recalibrates his reality to benefit himself is terrifying.
I am simultaneously appalled and just fascinated by the sheer audacity of it.
It's quite something.
There is zero moral compass here. None. It's not even that he has a twisted code of honor among thieves, you know? He just has no code at all. He is driven entirely by opportunistic greed and lust. He sees a situation that is a tragic mistake for him, the accidental murder of his closest ally. And within seconds, his brain calculates how to extract maximum selfish benefit from it.
If we look closely at Hua's psychology here, it really highlights a purely transactional worldview.
Transactional, yeah.
Human life possesses absolutely no intrinsic value to him. People are not people. They are merely chess pieces or resources to be consumed.
Just objects.
Exactly. His sworn brother is dead. A normal person, even a hardened criminal, would mourn or panic or feel guilt.
Right.
But Hua, he views it as a sunk cost.
Yeah.
Moving on. A traumatized woman is crying in front of him. He doesn't see a human being in profound distress. He sees an asset that is now unguarded.
Oh, wow.
He sees an opportunity for exploitation.
Think about the real-world equivalent of this. Like, have you ever confided in someone because you thought they were helping you, only to realize halfway through the conversation they're just gathering ammunition to use against you?
Oh, that's a terrible feeling.
It's that sickening drop in your stomach. Now amplify that by 1,000,000 for Mrs. Lay. She was trapped. She thought she was saved. The relief must have been intoxicating.
And then it's just ripped away.
And then the man holding the bloody knife smiles at her and says he's going to murder her brother and take her for himself.
It's horrific.
Her savior is actually worse than her captor, because her captor at least had the decency to be obviously evil from the start. Hua is this unpredictable, opportunistic monster.
It is the exact moment the illusion of safety shatters completely, and honestly, what is her only recourse?
He doesn't have many options.
When she refuses his horrifying proposal, he doesn't try to woo her. He immediately threatens her life.
Just goes straight to violence.
She realizes in an instant that reasoning with him is impossible, so she resorts to the only weapon she has left, her voice.
Yeah.
She screams for help. She starts yelling at the top of her lungs that she's being assaulted, hoping anyone is nearby.
And her screams are just echoing out of this temple. And in the world of classic wuxia, a scream like that doesn't just dissipate into the night air.
No, it does not.
It acts as a beacon. It draws in a very specific kind of person, because this isn't just a quiet temple in a vacuum. Those screams pull 3 legendary figures right into the fray, and it shifts the entire genre of our story on a dime.
It really does.
We transition instantly from this enclosed, claustrophobic psychological horror to a sprawling martial arts encounter.
Precisely. Enter the enforcers of the Underworld Code.
So let's talk about these 3 heroes, because their entrances are incredibly cinematic.
Oh, they are fantastic.
The text takes the time to describe them in this vivid, almost comic book level of detail.
Very much so.
They happen to be walking by the temple, they hear the screams, and they just kick the doors in to investigate. First, we have Yunlong. His title in the underworld is the Flying Heavenly Fire Ancestor.
What a title.
He is described as being 8 feet tall, broad-shouldered. He has a face like red charcoal, double heavy eyebrows, ring eyes, and he's wearing the sapphire blue satin outfit.
A very striking image.
Then the second guy, Mazaxiang, his title, the Standing God of Plagues.
Which is a rather intimidating moniker for a hero, I must say. It implies his mere presence is a blight on his enemies.
Right. Like if a guy called the Standing God of Plagues kicks down the door to save you, you have to wonder what his methods are.
You'd be a little nervous.
He's also huge, but his face is described as green, like green cloth, but shiny. He's got vermilion eyebrows and a full red beard. It's a striking, terrifying color palette.
Very intense.
And finally, the third hero, Yang Shun. He's known as Thousand Li Legs, implying this incredible speed or stamina.
Yes.
Because a li is a Chinese unit of distance, so 1,000 li means he can run seemingly forever.
Exactly.
And he's a stark contrast to the other 2. He wears pure white, has a pale face, and is described as very handsome and refined.
Now, these visual descriptions might seem exaggerated to a modern reader, like a shiny green face.
Yeah, it sounds a bit cartoonish.
But they are not just decorative. They are deeply ingrained in the theatrical traditions of Chinese storytelling, particularly drawing heavily from Chinese opera conventions.
Oh, opera convention.
Yes. In that tradition, facial colors immediately telegraph a character's nature, personality, and abilities to the audience.
Kind of like wearing a white hat or black hat in an old Western movie, right? As soon as the guy with the green face walks on stage, the audience knows exactly what kind of fighter he is.
Exactly. It is a highly evolved visual shorthand.
That makes so much sense.
For example, the red face of Yunlong suggests unwavering loyalty, fierce courage, and explosive, fiery power. Very much like the legendary General Guan Yu from the Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Okay.
And then the green face and red beard of Ma Zhaoxian signify someone indomitable, perhaps wild, stubborn, and deeply fearsome. Green often denotes someone rebellious or demonic in their fighting ferocity.
So he fights like a wild man.
Exactly. And Yang Shun, in pure white, represents the handsome, agile, and perhaps more scholarly or refined martial artist.
The contrast is great.
Together, they represent a balanced, totally unstoppable triad of force.
Here's where it gets really interesting to me.
Okay.
The text tells us exactly why they happened to be walking by this temple in the first place.
Right.
They had been hearing rumors that Yunlong was committing crimes, specifically crimes of a predatory sexual nature in the nearby city of Linen. But they didn't believe the rumors.
And the reason why is so funny.
It's crazy. They didn't believe it because the guy in white, Yang Shin, is sworn brothers with another martial artist who literally just threw a massive formal party to celebrate Hua Yunlong taking a vow of chastity.
Maintaining rectitude and abstaining from lust celebration.
Yes.
It is a brilliant piece of dramatic irony, but it also reveals the incredible structure of their world.
It's wild. They sent out green forest invitations, which, let's be honest, is basically the official Evite of the martial arts underworld.
Pretty much.
To celebrate a notorious villain supposedly swearing off his predatory ways. It shows us that this criminal or martial arts underworld, what they call the Jianghu, isn't just a lawless Mad Max wasteland where everyone just stabs each other randomly.
Not at all.
It has its own incredibly strict moral codes, its own bureaucracy, and literal catered celebrations for upholding certain behavioral standards.
This raises an important point about the historical and literary nature of the Jianghu, which literally translates to rivers and lakes.
Rivers and lakes.
Yes, it represents a parallel society operating completely outside the bounds of mainstream law and order. The Green Forest, or Lulin, refers historically to outlaws and bandits who hid in the wilderness.
Okay, I see.
Because they operate outside the emperor's law, they have to create their own law. Otherwise, it is just anarchy. Their own internal codes of brotherhood, face, meaning reputation, and honor, become the highest governing law.
It's like how the mafia has strict rules about who you can and cannot hit, or how hackers have their own ethics about what systems are off limits. There's a real code even among outlaws.
Exactly. And the fact that the underworld celebrated Hua's supposed vow of chastity shows that even among bandits and thieves, his predatory behavior was recognized as a massive problem.
Even the bad guys thought he was crossing a line.
A huge violation of order. They were attempting to rehabilitate him into their code. By throwing a party and sending out official invitations, they were forcing him to put his reputation on the line.
But as we just saw with Mrs. Lai, Hua doesn't care about their code at all. He has zero respect for the rules of the Green Forest.
Which is the core conflict here.
Yeah.
You have these three heroes who rigorously uphold the code. They are investigating a screen because it is their absolute duty as righteous outlaws to stop injustice.
Right.
And you have Hua, who is entirely sociopathic and disregards all social contracts, whether they are mainstream laws or underworld oaths. He is a total rogue variable in their carefully structured society.
So these three legendary figures burst into the temple, they see the dead sworn brother, they see the terrified woman, and they realize instantly that the rumors were true.
The vow of chastity was a total lie.
The party was a sham. And Hua is instantly furious, not because he's caught red-handed doing something evil, but because his ego is bruised.
Naturally.
He thinks, how dare these younger guys interfere with my business? He absolutely refuses to bow to their code. But now he's cornered by three legendary enforcers.
It's a bad situation.
So how does a man with no honor fight a battle he mathematically cannot win?
He abandons all pretense of honorable combat.
Completely.
It becomes a masterclass in dirty, pragmatic survival tactics.
He realizes he's outnumbered 3-1 by heavily armed, famously skilled fighters. A fair fight means he dies.
Without question.
So what does he do? He turns and runs outside into the courtyard to create space. And he relies entirely on hidden projectile weapons. Darts.
A weapon of a coward in this context.
Exactly. He throws one at Qin, the red-faced giant, and hits him in the shoulder. He throws another one at Ma, the green-faced god of plagues, and hits him in the back. Both of these massive, terrifying heroes just drop to the ground.
Which leaves only Yang Shen, the Thousand Legs, the agile fighter in white. Yang is absolutely enraged. I mean, he has just watched his two sworn brothers get taken down by cowardly hidden weapons. He attacks fiercely, closing the distance.
And this is where Hua's fighting style really shines in the darkest, most cynical way possible.
Oh, yeah.
Yang is attacking with this flurry of sword strikes. He goes for the head, Hua blocks, Yang goes for the chest. Hua dodges and counters by trying to stab Yang's wrist to sever his pulse.
Very technical.
Yang pulls back and chops at Hua's neck. It's an incredibly intense, fast-paced piece of choreography, but Hua knows his stamina is going to run out.
He can't last.
He can't win a sustained duel against Thousand Legs, so he turns and runs again.
And here we see Hua transition from physical combat to psychological warfare.
Yes. Hua runs, turns back, and yells out, "Watch out for the dart." He makes the aggressive throwing motion with his arm, but he throws absolutely nothing.
He feints.
It's exactly like a baseball pitcher faking a throw to first base to catch a runner leaning the wrong way. Or, if you're a gamer, it's like playing a fighting video game against someone who finds one cheap, highly exploitable move and just spams it over and over.
It's infuriating.
Yang Shen reacts instinctively to the audio cue and the motion. He flinches. He braces for a weapon that isn't there.
The text notes that Yang Shen is stunned for a brief moment. His forward momentum is broken. His fighting rhythm is shattered by his own conditioned anticipation.
And that tiny microsecond of hesitation is all Hua needs. Because immediately after the fake-out, Hua yells, "Watch out for the dart again."
And this time
he actually throws a real dart. Yang hasn't recovered his balance from the first flinch. He can't dodge in time. And the dart hits him right in the Huagai acupoint, squarely in the center of the chest.
a critical hit.
He goes down instantly. Okay, pause here, because I need you to explain this to me. Why is a dart to the chest an instant game over? The other two got hit in the shoulder and went down, but this one seems specifically lethal or paralyzing.
This is a crucial detail that really grounds the wuxia fantasy in the biological mechanics of traditional Chinese medicine.
Oh, really?
Yes. The text specifically names the Huagai acupoint. Huagai translates to magnificent canopy, and it is located on the sternum, directly over the heart and the lungs.
Okay.
In acupuncture and meridian theory, this point lies on the renmai, or the conception vessel, which regulates the flow of qi, or vital energy, throughout the entire front of the body.
So it's kind of like hitting a main circuit breaker?
Precisely. In the context of martial arts literature, specifically the concept of diangsu, or pressure point striking, hitting the Huagai point with force disrupts the flow of qi to the heart and lungs.
Wow.
Physiologically, it mimics a massive shock to the respiratory and cardiovascular systems, causing instant paralysis, shortness of breath, and collapse. It is a highly technical, devastating strike.
That makes the fake out even more insidious. Let's analyze the choreography of this whole sequence because it reveals everything about who Hua Yunlong is.
It really does. This is not a battle of magical qi blasts or flying swords.
No.
It is deeply pragmatic and entirely based on exploiting human reflexes and psychology. Hua weaponizes Yang Shen's own rigorous martial arts training against him.
That is so twisted.
In the Zhenghu, fighting is about honor, skill, and reacting correctly to established techniques. But for Hua Yunlong, fighting is solely about survival, dominance, and doing whatever it takes to win.
He just wants to win.
Right. He uses a fake out because he knows Yang is disciplined enough to react to a perceived threat. He uses Yang's own discipline as a weakness.
It's so fundamentally dishonorable. He takes down 3 legendary enforcers of the underworld not by being a superior martial artist, but by being completely devoid of shame.
Yes.
And then the cherry on top, he just gloats. He stands over the 3 bleeding, paralyzed heroes in the dirt, laughing this arrogant, maniacal laugh.
So arrogant.
He tells them they brought this on themselves for meddling. He is on top of the world. He has beaten the cops of the underworld, basically. His ego is inflated to the absolute maximum.
Which provides the most perfect dramatic beat imaginable for his ultimate nemesis to finally appear.
Oh man, the timing.
The universe allows Huater to reach the very pinnacle of his arrogance, allowing him to believe he is totally untouchable, only to immediately shatter that illusion.
Yes. Right in the middle of his villain monologue, a voice rings out from the shadows. "Good thing, Hua Yunlong, here you are. I've been looking for you for half a day, and now you can't run away."
It's Jigong.
the mad monk, the divine enforcer, and the transformation in Hua Yunlong is instantaneous. The arrogance vanishes in a millisecond.
Sure.
The text says he is terrified, his soul not attached to his body, and he just turns and bolts. The bravado is completely, utterly gone.
It is a total regression from a gloating victor to raw, primal flight.
He runs like lightning, panicked like a shooting star, and Jigong pursues him. But here's the detail that absolutely obsessed me in this text.
I know exactly what you're going to say.
The author doesn't just say Jigong chases him. The text specifically highlights the sound of Jigong's footwear.
Yes.
He's wearing rough straw sandals, and the text phonetically spells out the sound they make against the ground. Guada, guada, guada.
The original Chinese uses the characters chichu chichu to represent that loud smacking sound.
Hey.
Yes, it is a brilliant use of sensory detail to build tension.
It is straight out of a modern horror movie.
Oh, completely.
Think about it. It reminds me so much of The Terminator or Michael Myers in Halloween or the shark in Jaws.
Right, the slow pursuit.
Exactly. The monster doesn't sprint. They just walk steadily, relentlessly. And there's a specific auditory cue that signals your impending doom.
The heavy boots or the music.
The heavy boots clanking, the slow breathing, or those two musical notes in Jaws. For Hua Yunlong, it's the slapping of straw sandals.
It's terrifying.
He's sprinting for his life through the wilderness, his lungs are burning, his legs are giving out, and all he can hear right behind him, never getting further away, is that rhythmic, unhurried guada guada sound.
If we connect this to the bigger picture of the text's overarching themes, that sound is not just footsteps.
What is it?
That is the inescapable sound of karma.
Wow. Okay, break that down for me.
Earlier, the narrator broke the fourth wall to promise us that evil will face retribution.
Right, the cosmic safety net.
Yes. Jigong is not merely a highly skilled martial artist. He actually represents that divine justice. He's the physical manifestation of those cosmic rules.
Oh, I see.
You cannot outrun karma. Ham knows instinctively, deep in his bones, that his hidden darts, his psychological fake-outs, and his dirty fighting tactics will not work against this force.
They're useless.
Completely useless. His only instinct is terror. The rhythmic sound of the sandals is the ticking clock of his own morality finally catching up to him. It is the heartbeat of a universe demanding balance.
That is incredible, and the physical toll of this chase on Hua is immense. He runs for hours.
He runs until the sky turns dark.
He runs until he literally cannot hear the sandals anymore. He has outrun the physical pursuit, but he is completely physically spent.
Exhausted.
The text says he is exhausted, sweating profusely, totally depleted of energy and chi. He finds a dark forest, collapses against a tree, and this is where the narrator shifts gears again.
A major shift.
Moving from the visceral physical action of the chase into this intense, suffocating psychological space. He sits there alone in the dark, and all of a sudden this massive wave of anxiety crashes over him.
It's a heavy moment.
He thinks about his life. He realizes he can't sit in peace. He can't sleep in peace. He is hunted by the government everywhere he goes. He has no place to stand in the world.
It is a moment of profound vulnerability and existential dread.
Really dread.
The adrenaline of the chase has finally faded, leaving only the crushing reality of his existence.
Right.
He is a man without a home, without allies, having just murdered his sworn brother hours earlier.
Right.
And he is constantly pursued by divine retribution. He is totally hollowed out.
Right. And in that state of absolute physical exhaustion and mental despair, he slips into this trance.
It's beautifully written.
It really is. The text describes it as Mao Miao Mang Mang Malili. It's this hazy, misty, half-asleep, half-awake state where reality just starts to blur.
Like a fever dream.
Exactly. And when he opened his eyes, he's not in the dark, terrifying forest anymore. He looks across the road and sees a massive, beautiful, wealthy estate.
Out of nowhere.
There are red lanterns glowing warmly at the gate. It looks safe, it looks warm, it is everything he doesn't have. So he walks up, knocks on the door, and is greeted by this kindly old man Hu.
Who is described with very specific, welcoming imagery.
Yeah, he seems so nice.
And wears a free and easy hat. He has a face like a third autumn ancient moon and a long flowing white beard. He looks like a benevolent sage, a generous grandfather figure, or maybe a Taoist immortal.
He is the exact opposite of everything Hua has experienced all day. He isn't judging Hua, he isn't trying to arrest him, he's just nice.
Just hospitable.
Old Man Hu invites him in. The estate is elegant and quiet. A servant pops in to mention that a lot of guests are waiting for the old man in the main hall to celebrate the second master's birthday.
Little background detail.
So old man Hu excuses himself to go attend to his family, but he orders the servants to prepare a massive feast for this random stranger he just met.
Very generous.
And they bring out all this food, and every single dish is exactly what Hua loves to eat most.
Every single one.
So what does this all mean? As a reader, my alarm bells were ringing so loudly during this entire sequence.
As they should.
Did he actually die in the forest from exhaustion and go to some weird afterlife? Is this a magical trap set by Jigong using Buddhist illusions? Or is Hua's exhausted, stressed-out brain just hallucinating the ultimate comfort scenario as a coping mechanism?
It is a masterfully ambiguous transition into a surreal, dreamlike fable.
It really feels like a fable.
The text shifts entirely in tone. We have left the gritty, blood-soaked reality of the Jianghu and entered a purely psychological landscape. And you are right to have your alarm bells ringing. The text is saturated with subtle, creeping red flags.
The food. The fact that it's perfectly his favorite.
Exactly. An enormous, wealthy estate appearing out of nowhere in the middle of a dark, hostile forest is a classic folklore trope across many cultures.
Oh, like Hansel and Gretel.
It is the gingerbread house in the woods, is the fairy ring. But the psychological precision of this specific estate is what makes it fascinating.
How so?
The unnatural perfection of the food, the fact that the servants intuitively know exactly what his favorite dishes are without asking, it signals that this place is a manifestation of Hua's deepest, most desperate desires.
So it's catering to his brain.
Yes. At the exact moment he is most vulnerable, most terrified, and most painfully aware of his miserable, hunted existence, the universe, or maybe his own breaking mind, presents him with an oasis of absolute safety, comfort, and indulgence.
It's almost too perfect. He sits there, stuffing his face, and he feels this intense rush of gratitude.
Rare for him.
Very. He thinks to himself, I've never met this old man in my life, and he's treating me so well. What a great guy. It's everything he wants: warmth, food, shelter, and zero consequences.
Yeah.
But because this is Hua Yunlong, the ultimate indulgence isn't just a full stomach. His fatal flaw isn't gluttony, it's lust. He is a serial predator, and the dream or the trap, whatever it is, it knows that. It knows exactly what buttons to push, because just as he finishes eating and starts feeling comfortable, he hears footsteps.
The bait arrives.
A woman's voice calls out softly, asking for the old man, and the curtain lifts, and in walks this stunningly beautiful woman.
The narrative slows down dramatically here to dwell on her appearance with incredible deliberate focus.
It does.
It is the author painting a picture of overwhelming temptation.
It is so detailed. The author describes her cloud-like hair bun, her bamboo leaf earrings. She's wearing a silver red shirt, an onion green silk pair of pants, and tiny palace shoes.
Very specific clothing.
The text says she is 1,000 times charming, 100 times beautiful, with moth eyebrows and white teeth.
Poetic descriptions.
She looks at Hua, looks shocked, yells at the servant for letting a wild man into the house, and immediately storms out, heading towards the dark back rooms of the estate.
We have to unpack those visual details because they are essentially the bait on the hook.
Yes, please. What do the bamboo leaf earrings and the onion green pants signify? Why those specific colors and items?
In classical Chinese literature, specific clothing strongly denotes class, personality, and availability.
Okay, that makes sense.
The tiny palace shoes indicate bound feet, which points to a woman of high social status and wealth. Someone kept sequestered away.
Which appeals to him.
Yes, it appeals to Hua's desire to conquer and defile the elite. The cloud-like hair bun and moth eyebrows are classic poetic ideals of feminine beauty. But the colors, a silver red shirt paired with onion green silk pants, these are highly contrasting, incredibly vibrant colors.
They really stand out.
It is visual candy. It is not the subtle, muted dress of a modest housewife. It is striking, designed to hyperstimulate his specific predatory gaze.
Oh, wow.
The bamboo leaf earrings suggest a delicate refinement, a stark contrast to his coarse, violent banditry. The entire outfit is mathematically formulated to trigger his darkest compulsions.
And it works instantly. Notice the violent transition in Hua's state of mind. He was just expressing gratitude.
He was peaceful.
He was feeling safe for the first time all day. But the exact millisecond he sees her, the text explicitly reminds us of his true nature. It says he is a habitual predator, a man who has experienced the vast sea of women.
His predatory instincts are immediately reignited.
Like a pilot light hitting a gas leak. The fear of Jigong, the exhaustion from the run, the gratitude for the old man's hospitality, It all just vanishes.
Completely overridden.
It is completely overridden by his core flaw. He stands up from the table, ignores all rules of decorum, and follows her deeper into the maze of the estate.
He abandons the safety of the feast to pursue his vice.
He follows her right into the northern room, the private chambers. He lifts the curtain to go in after her, expecting to overpower a frightened woman.
But he is very wrong.
And this is the climax of the trance. This is the moment the trap springs shut with a terrifying clang. She turns around to face him, but she's not a frightened woman running from an intruder anymore.
Not at all.
Her face is completely hard, and she speaks to him. She says, "Why, Yunlong? You are too bold. Do you have a brain in your head? Look at this." She calls him by his full name.
The anonymity he thought he had found in this random forest estate is shattered in a single sentence.
Completely shattered, and she points to the wall of the room. Hua looks, and painted on the wall of this random house in the middle of an uncharted forest is an exact replica of a poem.
Not just any poem.
Not just any poem, but the specific arrogant poem that Hua had illegally written at Prime Minister Qin's mansion in Linen, the scene of one of his major past crimes.
The crime that started it all.
The crime that put a bounty on his head in the first place. He is paralyzed with shock. His brain is short-circuiting. And as he's standing there thinking, how on earth does she know who I am and why is my poem on her wall?
She delivers the final blow.
She points toward the door and says, "Look, Jigong is here." Hua turns around, and there is the mad monk in his straw sandals stumbling into the room.
The trap is closed.
The terror hits him all over again, and the excerpt ends with him terrified out of his mind, completely trapped.